Alice. You good? Hello and welcome to the Darkrast podcast.
Hello.
It's a conversational show where I talk with people and have conversations. This week I have my beautiful wife, Carissa Hildebrandt, who doesn't have my last name because of a story maybe we'll tell some
Later.
other time. Because I've heard it too many
It's
times recently.
pretty funny. I've told quite a bit of people.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Because with me, we always have a disagreement in that story. So
Yeah, because you don't believe me.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I just don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm so
That's true.
excited to talk to you because I wanted to have you on the show about a year ago when I was making stuff that isn't around anymore and never got put online.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Me and you planned to do a podcast.
Yes.
It was going to be called Dead End Marriage.
That one was funny.
That one was funny.
That was going to be great.
And hopefully some of these episodes can just turn into whatever that would have
Yeah.
been. Which is cool.
Baby steps.
You've been with me this whole time. Like, just kind of watching me stress out and go through all these motions.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been fun.
It's
been a roller coaster.
Is it weird watching all of this stuff and having me, like, bombard you with it and then being part of the stuff finally? Because I think this is the first time. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
First time I've actually been really a part of one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Because even in our past stuff, I was just...
Yeah, well, that stuff was all concepts and designs that you worked really hard on, and they just never came out.
Yeah.
So this is like the up to bat.
Yes, it is.
So I'm excited. I'm super happy you're here. A lot of people wanted you to be on the show.
That makes me nervous.
I know. It's fantastic.
No, it's not.
So yeah, let's jump in. Hard shift. First question.
First gear.
I want to launch with this. So you watch tons of Netflix.
Yes.
And you're way better at it than me because I have too many like little interests, so I get distracted. I hop.
You hop a lot.
I'm a hopper.
Yeah. You're
But-
not a finisher. You're
Hey,
a hopper.
but Hopper's cool. He's on Stranger Things.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hopper is cool.
He's cooler than me, though. But on Netflix, you watch something that I think's trendy. I think people are into it. Documentaries.
Oh, yeah.
Like hardcore.
Are people into it? I don't know.
Are there more documentaries being made at a rapid rate?
Yeah, but the thing with documentaries is a lot of them can not be true. Like, it's all
What
just
do you mean?
viewpoint.
Yeah, so I want to know everything about documentaries. That's
So
my first
there's a
question
lot-
is take me down the rabbit
A lot
hole.
of the new documentaries, well, I'm not going to say a lot because I'm not sure. I'm totally just...
You can
feel like-
generalize. People get what... it's
I feel
fine.
like I'm just making this up. But anyway,
Who cares?
I feel like a lot of the newer documentaries, or old ones too, it's all just one person's viewpoint. Like, they make it...
So there's a bias.
Yeah, there's definitely a bias to a lot of documentaries. That's why you have to find the right ones.
So what do you think, knowing that, watching them? Are you, like, looking for the bias, or do you
Yeah.
kind of get it early on?
You can kind of notice after you watch a little bit of it.
Because you
tell.
watch, like, political, like,
Yeah.
important topic documentaries.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Some of them?
Do those have biases in them?
Oh, yeah. A lot of them do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because you can find a documentary on pretty much anything, and you can find one on either side, and you could come out feeling really confused because you're like, well, I freaking agreed on that one, but then I agree on this one too.
So if, like, two of them cover the same turf.
It's like anyone can make you think a certain way.
You know, when I was going to college, the class that I took with journalism, that was one of the first things we talk about is, like, the bias of information and being hyper aware of that. And that's why modern journalism almost pisses me off, because it's and it shouldn't, because I get it, but it's like new turf, and so how you represent things is really important. Like, it's important to your audience, and so You know that I've philosophized the fuck out of this podcast.
Yes.
So I can't imagine doing a show on something like a president, like the assassinations and stuff like that, and walking into something like that with a bias. I couldn't feel comfortable like releasing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's important to talk about. I don't know. That's a weird thing to say, but it's like...
Well, it's just like conspiracy theories, you know? It's just like a lot of people will believe them just because they're so well...
Crafted?
Yeah, like, they just seem so real that you're like...
Do you think the people believe them, too? That's the thing with conspiracy theories. Yeah.
There's a lot that I'm even, like, watching, you know, all these historical things and documentaries. I'm like... Wow, maybe some of them could be true. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when you
seriously
talk to me
learning
about...
more, I really don't feel like I know more about the world. Because the more I learn, I'm like, the more I'm confused.
That's interesting. I think that's a cool thing to ponder. Is like, you know, gaining knowledge actually confuses a lot of things. And it's like part of, I guess, maturation. You just grow up, get some wisdom under your belt.
Yeah.
So at this rate, you're gonna be wise as fuck.
I
in your
hope
30s.
so. Yeah. I'm hoping that's my goal. I want to be that old lady, you know, and like
just everything.
The Matrix. What's
everything
her name?
on the tool belt. Trinity.
Yeah.
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 She's
no,
cool.
not Trinity.
You said she.
The old lady.
Oh,
the wise
I don't know.
one.
Yeah, old lady.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Old lady on bench.
Yeah. I don't remember her name, but I want to be that.
She has those skin tag thing. What do they call it? Moles?
Yeah,
moles. I don't know. They're distinct. Morgan Freeman has them.
Yeah.
She has those. Mm-hmm. So I remember that.
Yeah. She's cool.
That whole movie's cool. You like such cool things.
I do.
You like a lot of the stuff that I like, and so I think they're cool.
That's why we get along.
Yeah. But it's weird. I wanted to talk to you about documentaries because, like, we get along on so many subjects, but we consume way different shit. Like, I'm on YouTube a lot. You're on Netflix and Hulu more. Mm-hmm. You're getting into sitcoms. I'm getting into stand-ups.
Yeah, stand-ups.
Yeah. So with documentaries and the ones that have, like, that bias, when you're done with a documentary, I don't know, like, where's your mind at when you think of the source? Like, do you believe most of them? Do you think they present them pretty well?
Yeah.
They're professionally done.
Yeah, most of them are really well. And so the reason, like, after I watch a documentary, I'll do, if it's more interesting, if I want to know more and want to know, you know, if it's all fact, I'll do more research. And that's what I do during most of them. Yeah.
What do you do?
I'll sit there on my phone or on my laptop and I'll just Google certain things and read and look up websites. And
yeah.
So that's what I do with most of
So what do you think of bias in that sphere? Because that's, like, way worse. Because it's so catch and go.
Oh, the internet?
Netflix is a big, you know, it's a presentation of information for, like, an hour. But on the internet, Google, very quick, you know, they're trying to just get a bunch of information. On the stuff you're looking up, is it pretty easy, like, to find good info?
No, I have the hardest time, but I feel like that's just me, because I always have a hard time.
That's why I asked, is because Google's a bitch.
It is. There's so many different sources and different websites and just dumb people that are able to, like, have these websites that look believable and they're not, and you're like,
because anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, any asshole could decide to make a podcast. Anybody could do it, you know, you just put it out there. But so, man, so what are some of your favorites? Talk to me about a couple, because the fun thing, what I think about it is that you have so many small talks, because you told me that you're like, I feel like I'm like totally prepared for small talk.
I get along with my dad a lot because he loves talking. He's the same way.
Right.
He'll watch documentaries all the time. And so we'll talk and have watched the same ones or recommend some for each other.
Yeah. And he's an academic.
Yeah. There's one that's really cool. I always forget the name because it's actually a pretty long name. It's like the unbelievable or incredible hidden treasure or buried treasure or found... It's about a ship that sunk forever ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
you told me about that.
This crazy amount of treasure they find, and it's all like pure gold, and they're huge, crazy statues. Like there's a pure gold Medusa head, and it's just like and it's all gold, and it's huge. Like, and there's statues that are like
pure gold,
pure gold, and it's huge. And and it's just like,
what did that look like? Because it was underwater.
It looked fine. Like, they cleaned it up,
Serious?
But it had coral. Some of them,
because gold's like malleable.
yeah. So there's like what is the one that goes green?
Like,
really
is
bright.
Is it like copper?
Yeah, copper. There was a lot of copper ones, and so they all look cool actually because they have coral growing out of them, and they're that bright.
It's kind of like
green.
when you see a building that's been grown over.
Yeah. So it's actually kind of adds to some of the huge statues they found, and it's one of the biggest treasure finds in the world.
That's crazy.
And they have this huge museum, and me and Carrie want to go because we watched this one together.
Well, yeah.
And it's incredible.
Where's the museum?
I think it's in the UK.
Okay.
So I think it's over
trip.
there. Yeah. And they found it off of the coast of Africa, I think.
Okay. So when they were like recording that, did they record it as they were discovering it? So was it kind of like
yeah, and there was a lot of not poachers. What are they? Pirates. Yeah. There's a lot of pirates, and they had guns, and they had to do it really fast because
what?
Yeah, it got crazy at the end.
Like as part of the show?
Yeah, well, they didn't show any action because nothing happened, but it just showed like the pirates and they had guns, and
then there's that
they were getting worried, and they're like, "We gotta hurry!
Like, these guys are gonna totally bombard the ship. We have to get out of here."
They had to like figure out how to get them up, you know?
Yeah.
And how they found it was really cool.
Was it a private company?
Yeah, it was just like a few people. I don't remember what it was, but. Yeah, it was just like the find of the century.
Did they do the documentary, or was it kind of like these people followed these people that were doing this? Or could you not even tell?
I couldn't really tell.
It's just info.
Yeah, it was just info, and it was just them finding it, and they've been searching for years because it's in some old texts they had been. So it was actually like a treasure hunt.
So was it? What was it? Was it a ship?
Yeah, it was a sunken ship back. I always forget.
You don't got to get too crazy
it was a sunken
details.
ship.
I'm mainly just painting a picture, you know.
From some like emperor from I want to say China.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Sure.
I'm not
emperor guy. So
yeah, some rich dude just had like tons of wealth, and he was moving it from Spain or
he was
something.
Moving like a hoard of wealth.
Yeah, and it was like 10 ships, and they all sunk in this location. And these people found it.
That is so crazy.
They found the treasure. Because it was all myth. Like, everyone was like, oh, it's just fake because no one's ever found it.
Right.
And then they finally found it because they did the math and figured
that
it would have traveled.
Because it's kind of like a story you hear when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Like, we grow up with those stories of, like finding the booty and everything.
Yeah, and this was the craziest find, and the statues are insane.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they're mind-blowing. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
They're like little naked, like...
They're huge. No, I'm saying they're huge.
Or are they like the Greece, like little, like, chubby naked people?
Yeah, so they had Greek... No, they really had Greek, like, statues, the naked men, you know, the big porcelain
like actual ones.
Yeah, they had those on there, too. They
my God.
They had stuff from everywhere. It was crazy. He was a collector of art or treasure or something.
Yeah.
I could talk about this forever, so...
That's why I wanted to talk about it. That's so cool. Because that one, like, it's just such a fun... Like, how long is that one? Is that, like, a season?
No, it's a movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's like an hour.
That's cool, though, because you get a really, like, condensed tale.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the movies or the series?
I like them both, so...
Because I know the political ones will run for a number of episodes, right?
Yeah, usually, like... war ones or political ones will have series.
So I always tell you that like the documentaries scare the shit out of me. I'm always like, you learn about such intense stuff all the time.
Yeah.
What is that what makes it interesting? Is that it's kind of intense, or is that just part of what you're watching and I'm blowing it out of proportion?
No, I mean, I watch a lot of scary ones. I'll watch, you know, a lot of national disasters so I can get to know the weather patterns, and I'll watch a lot of murder ones and just crazy ones. But I always liked them because before I used to be way terrified of storms. Like as a kid, I would have like panic attacks.
Were you terrified of thunderstorms because you liked those?
Yeah,
lightning,
so
like
I was scared
storms.
of all of them. Like I hated storms.
That's crazy because you love them now.
Mm-hmm. So my dad, he because every storm I would freak out. I would be bawling. And he finally, you know, taught me everything about storms one time because he thought that it would help.
Yeah.
And it actually did. Like, the more I knew, the less I was scared about it.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. So then I really just got into them and just learning, because whatever scares me, if I learn more about them.
You've told me that same principle across, like, all of the different ones that you've watched, because you're like, well, I want to know stuff. Like, I want to be educated on these important issues.
Yeah.
Like disasters and, you know, times of crisis, and it's and you
I want to know what's going on in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't want to hear that.
No. Cut. Just kidding.
Oh. No, we just have like a fucking massive sound coming from the AC. I didn't want
such
that
a loud AC unit
going on. So dang, hit me with another one. What's another biggie?
Gosh.
Like, tell me about a political one. What was the most interesting? Not even if it was like a favorite because of, just what was the most interesting?
Oh gosh.
Because I mean, you've done JFK assassination, Hitler stuff.
I would have to say the Watergate, like the whole Nixon, like that whole undoing was just crazy to me. Like, learning all of that.
I've done this every time you've talked about it. Like,
you don't know?
I have no idea what it is.
It's just
I'm so politically ignorant.
It's just he was just very corrupt. He pretty much controlled like the FBI.
Because I know he's the big nose, but is he the piece?
So
is he I am not a crook?
I think
Nixon?
so. I think so. He was famous for a lot of things.
Okay.
But he was like a racist. He was corrupt, and like, I mean, the other presidents were too, but they were more sexually corrupt.
Okay. So
but
they were scandalous.
Yeah, they were scandalous.
Like Clinton.
Clinton and like JFK. He was a man whore.
Was that a familial thing? Didn't you say they were all...
his whole family. Oh, right.
They were like popular, successful, pretty
people. They were
stars.
Yeah, they were basically stars. And
hi, buddy.
So they were all kind of man whores, I would say. But it was kind of common in that time, I would say, too, because, I don't know, the men were always at work. It was just kind of like, you know, Mad Men style.
That's what I was just going to say. It's like Mad Men.
I feel like it was kind of like not accepted, but secretly accepted.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I would say the Nixon stuff was the craziest one I've watched.
Because he's a very love-or-hate president, correct? Like, isn't that what people generally take away as like...
Yeah, I want to say there's a few people that loved him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anyone that I've met.
Because generally, I don't know, but when I talk to like older people about different political things, I just discover that there's a trade-off for that behavior, right? So it's like Trump. He sucks ass at one thing, but then he does other shit well, right?
Yeah.
And so there's like a weird political, they get to power because of these other things.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't feel like any president's gonna do the job right. It's a big job. I don't know. Because no one's perfect.
It's a democratic society, too, to where it's like a lot of people are involved in a lot of different things.
Yeah. But anyway, the Nixon stuff, he was more corrupt, and he controlled like the FBI, or was it the CIA? I don't know, one or the two. And he was very concerned, like he believed in conspiracies.
Okay.
And he was always concerned that someone was spying on him, and he would have people offed and killed and stuff like that, and have them cover it all up.
I love that he's just said the word offed.
Offed.
I haven't heard that shit forever.
You're gonna have them offed.
Well, they probably said that in the documentary, right? Like offing people.
Well, they have these not these videotapes. They have these recordings of him, because at the White House,
that's
all
what
of the
seems
rooms,
super interesting, is seeing like what they have.
They have like actual, like, not video, but like a recording of him talking to all these FBI and all of his delegate people or whatever, the White House people.
Yeah.
Talking about like his corruption, like him, you know, it was something about money, like he was embezzling tons of money or something like that.
Okay.
He had he was trying to cover up something else. I don't know. There was
so the big categories were just super concerning.
Oh yeah, like he you know, he was trying to, and he was saying a whole bunch of racist stuff. And they had, like, it was funny, he knew about it. He had them all installed. He had all of the recording devices installed in all of the rooms that in the White House. And that was what undid him, was...
That would drive me mad.
The courthouse finally got...
Would you want that? Like, say you were, like, just not him, but, like, you're Miss Madam President hanging out in the Oval Office, and then you're, like, on your laptop, and you're like, I'm gonna see what shit people are talking. And then you hear all this, like, super nasty stuff. That'd be... I wouldn't... I mean, I get it for safety, because you don't want to be offed. But, like, seriously, though, that was so weird.
To always be recorded?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, to be the monitorer of the surveillance, to, like, be the one that's like, all right.
Well, he wasn't doing that. I don't remember why he had them all installed. It was something stupid.
I'm sure it's there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a security thing. It's probably everywhere.
Something like that. And so, it's just funny that he's the one that had them installed, and then it's what they had enough evidence to impeach him.
Yeah.
So it was just
kind of just turned around on him. That's interesting.
But no one really knows what he all was able to do while he was president. But there's also, like,
how long was he president?
I think he served 2 terms. Maybe not.
Dang.
I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't remember
it's fine. Sorry, I don't mean to do that. I'm not trying to set you up.
I'm the worst at that. That's what I wish I could remember.
Well, you know, I don't remember references at all. I can't remember where my keys are. But, so after watching, like, I don't know, a huge handful of documentaries and stuff, what do you think of the documentary scene? Is it good? Is there a good selection? Is it healthy? Like, is there good info? Because, anything that gets popularized like that, generally you start getting a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, since you said, like, the Netflix stuff, there's a lot that I'm like, okay, this is totally biased.
Phoenix, can you not try
But, I mean, still, even biased ones are still informative.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll still watch one if it's about a subject that I want to learn about. Even if it is biased, just because it's still information.
Well, because you can still pick away at what details are salvageable from. You can filter out. Yeah, okay, I get that. So I do that too. I thought the one was interesting that we watched out here for a second, which was the Ritalin Adderall.
Oh, yeah.
Frenzy that goes on. Yeah. It's like the totally normal in some subculture of more wealthy households. Or probably not even wealthy, probably just in general.
Yeah, it was just like normal college students.
And it was at times of academic, like, duress. That's what they emphasized.
It was in college, and it was just like a whole bunch of college students, and they all thought it was just normal. It's like...
Yeah, it gives me a boost.
Yeah, it was like they didn't consider it doing drugs. They all said that. They're like, I don't consider it doing,
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's like, it's still a drug.
I think it's like drinking a pop and you're like, I mean, it's just...
It's diet.
It's just water with sugar and bubbles.
I love it when they say it's diet.
It's diet.
It has way more sugar.
I'm glad that I can finally not taste that fucking mandarin orange Splenda. Ugh.
What is that?
The thing I just ate.
Oh.
When I had that little fruit cup just barely, and I got the kind with Splenda instead of water. Like, I want water.
Yeah.
Because with fruit, I want nothing, and it's Splenda.
Just well, fruit's so delicious on its own, it doesn't need any of that.
I don't get it. I don't get why is there Splenda with the oranges as an option? Because I saw I showed it to you, the little package. I was like, no sugar added. It said no sugar added, rather than plain.
Yeah.
Like, you need it plain, not no sugar added, because no sugar added means that it's not normal. They added fake sugar.
Yeah.
Which is fucking confusing.
That is confusing.
It's bullshit. Sorry. Rant over.
I got mad for a second there. I agree.
That really threw me for like 20 minutes right before we started recording that I had this fruit cup. I was pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You were so excited about those, so...
I was. It's a new territory.
Yeah.
You know that I'm very particular about the grocery list.
Well, and every time we've been going, the fruit selection is shit.
Right, so we had to go to cups.
Yeah.
We were trying plastic.
We were trying, easy.
Right. Which I was excited for, because I'm like, cool, still tastes delicious. Maybe I'm harping on plastic fruit too much.
No.
Be a little cupped fruit, because it's kind of like what people say about salad. You put the ranch on, and they're like, I'm still eating salad. Right?
Yeah.
And they'll just douse it in ranch. And
I do that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Makes it good.
Or Italian.
But I don't know enough to whether or not it's like, well, I mean, you are still eating salad.
Yeah.
So I was giving it a
It's
try.
still healthy-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, has to be.
Oh, they have those websites now where, like, you vote for things. Maybe I'll just get people to vote for no more Splenda in our fucking fruit cups.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
You know, it's the scary documentary talking about fruit cups.
Oh,
The
no.
food one.
Oh, no.
The food one.
That's...
I couldn't finish it because I don't want to know.
How many are there? Have you just watched one?
No, it's a series. I watched at least 4 episodes.
So what do they do episode to episode? Is it continual?
Different food
Oh,
products.
it's different.
So there's like poultry.
Fuck that. I don't want them to go through the fridge and ruin everything for me.
Well, it's these big companies that control the market and decide what they put in it. And a lot of it, they'll just pick the cheapest, whatever the hell it is, and no one knows what it is.
For sure.
To put in their product.
It's scary.
It's weird. That one was really cool. I mean, I want to keep watching it, but it was almost like I didn't want to eat anything.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh God. Now I'm going to have to think harder at the grocery store.
So did you watch some with like animals and not animals?
Yeah.
Did you watch both?
Yeah, I watched both. So there's some like with canned foods and stuff like that.
Right.
Like a lot of people...
Me and you eat almost nothing canned.
No.
We're frozen.
We're frozen.
Yeah, we're frozen people.
I hate canned like vegetables and stuff. They're mushy. They're mushy.
And they're preservatives.
Yeah.
And you don't do preservatives.
No, I'm allergic.
You're allergic.
I'm allergic to preservatives, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Which they consider a mold. It's
yeah.
like a mold that they use to preserve stuff.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I don't either. I just remember it's a mold.
That one class I referenced in college was almost my only class. So, you know, I only had a bunch of starter stuff. I dipped out of biology and that whole, like, chemistry makeup category completely. I'm like, I'm out. I remember getting onto a little, you know, to do a comparison of how I like to consume media. Because you watch creepy shit, as I called it. On YouTube, I watched How It's Made. And that's not creepy at all.
No,
that's wonderful.
Cool. That's cool.
Remember those?
I like those.
There's only one that threw me off. And that was because it's all kind of what you expect, like hot dogs going down rollers and, you know, dough getting put into circles, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And the one that I don't even know if it just shocked me. It was so much chicken, what is it? Chicken, cow, like pork. What are the fucking categories of meat? There's pork, chicken,
beef?
Poultry, beef. Hot dog stuff.
Yeah.
I think it might have been the hot dog episode. But when they throw it in to mix it.
Oh, in the big, with the meat grinder?
It was as big as this room.
Oh, yeah.
It was like as big as that room. And that's the grinder.
Yeah.
And they throw that much in there. And I was just like, wow.
It's crazy.
Those used to be animals.
It's...
That part's creepy, but, you know, with how it's made, it's not creepy. Because of how they display it. They're just like,
they don't...
In the factory, Jim mixes this stuff.
They make it sound like a job.
Yeah, it just shows the guy, like, doing the thing, and then, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But those are fun. So I watch a lot of, like, I guess, bingey YouTube-styled content, even though it's a TV show.
Yeah.
But it's, like, clips on YouTube of things. I do that a lot.
Yeah, you do.
Right. Do you do that? Because you use social media all the time.
No, and that's what's funny, is I use social media, but I don't really get sucked into clicking on random videos.
Yeah?
No, like...
I think you just must have more friends than me, because
I really don't.
Your friends are probably making the feed interesting.
No,
I know what it is. You've perfected your feed, where you go through and actually put the right things on there.
Yeah.
Because you're a well put together woman who understands herself.
Yeah, so like...
Since I'm all over the fucking place, I look at my feed, there's nothing interesting, because I haven't... Well, there is interesting, but I haven't perfected, and I'm like, oh, I don't know about... And then I do something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I made it so mine, I only see stuff that I want to see.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see dumb videos. Like, some, I'm sure,
You had
are
a
funny.
run-in yesterday with suggested content.
Oh, yeah, and I figured it out. You
But
just have to push the button.
Tell me about your feelings on suggested content.
I hate it. Don't put some random person's face or photo in my face for me to follow them when I have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying. It's like, if I wanted to be their friend, I would have been their friend.
Isn't that funny?
It's so annoying. It's like random people from all over the world. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Do you know what's frustrating about it? Is the fact that it's successful.
It is.
They're doing it because it works. They're doing it because
does.
people algorithmically are participating in this thing, and then everything gets smarter and more catered to the person's needs.
Can you imagine if you added all those people and you had, so many people you followed?
No way.
You would never be able to see anything.
Do you know what I see?
It would just be like...
This is me turning to the dark side right now. Do you know what showed up on my feed the other day and I had no idea it existed?
What?
Purple. And it was...
Purple.
And it was really confusing because, Tim and Eric, they do content in a way where you don't know if it's real or fake. It's this weird middle ground.
Oh, yeah,
right?
you told me about that.
They do the awkward acting, right?
Yeah.
So they do infomercials and all these different types of things all the time. And then in my feed, I see purple, and they're doing all the Tim and Eric goofs and gags and stuff, and then all of a sudden... I look into it and I'm like, this is an actual mattress. This is like a company selling things, and I just watched an actual advertisement. If I could see 5-minute clips of like Grump Out style, like Game Grumps, remember those advertisements?
Yeah.
Those are ads I love. So I watched that one and I was just like, how awesome. That was so cool.
Yeah. So if they could do it that way.
Right. Maybe other people are just way more basic and they just see the suggested and they're like, oh, that makes sense for me. Thanks. I like that.
Yeah. I mean...
I don't know.
I guess I don't want clutter. I want to see my family and my friends. I don't want to see people I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess maybe I can't see you. Just kidding.
There's so much vape. There's too much vape.
I vape hard.
No, that's just all the fire smoke, actually. The vapors are fine.
Oh my god.
I don't know. You know that I have such an issue online with numerous things, though. Which is really funny as I learn more about myself. Because I say almost just to be a little self-serving. I have no idea what I'm talking about, and everything's wrong. And then, like, a week later, I'm like, God damn it, I was wrong about that. Like, when I talked to Nate. I talked to Nate about the internet. Mm-hmm. Dude's using it perfectly.
Some people just know how to use it.
Because I'm very pro-internet. I'm just not pro-me on the internet. Because I haven't figured out my space yet.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. With you, you do... It's funny because we aren't rolling in money, but you do a lot of like online piecing together.
Yeah. Shopping? Yeah, I do that. I have a lot of carts.
You know what it reminds me of? Is do you remember Tom Segura's stand-up bit where he's like talking about looking at like a $17 million yacht?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna bookmark that for later.
That's what I do. On Amazon, I have like a bookmark for like when we get rich. I have like that horse statue lamp. It's like $1,500.
But it's cool.
It's a lamp horse.
Yeah.
Which is like the size of an actual horse, so you can ride it. You can ride your lamp. Like, it's pretty freaking cool. It's in my wish list. That's on.
Yeah. That's probably it's the eyes.
On. Okay.
On. So, but you'll play it off as something a little bit more like simple like that. Like, yeah, whatever. But you spend a lot of time doing this.
I do.
And something that I
don't know if it's a good thing.
It's a definitely good thing. Because there's something that I love about you. There's a few things. There's a handful of things that I love about
really?
you. But a few, yeah. I'll tell you something.
Growing?
My love always grows.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that you're trendy. So you don't even act like I look stylish and I like all the cool shit that I didn't even
like
notice.
To dress nice because I like clothes. I like fashion, but I don't know if I'm what's cool, what's trending. I don't know if that's true. I go with what I like.
Well, there are numerous trends, and so going along with things, you're invested into fashion.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, I think, for our listeners to know that the way that guys consume video game content, you consume fashion content. But actually not really. The market in which you do your research is really different.
Yeah.
Because guys go to websites... I'm just speaking from my experience. Everybody's a little different, obviously.
Yeah.
But generally what you do is you find articles and then you read snippets or you watch clips of information, right? I don't see you watching Runways. And I don't see you watching or reading Vogue and doing all these things. You're shopping.
I mean,
that's what's insane is that you've picked up the ability to understand yourself completely in fashion or whatever else by just looking at everything. So you didn't go read someone's opinion. You figured it out by doing it. Literally.
I made a lot of mistakes. Looking back on Facebook, because you can look back on like old stuff that you've made private or deleted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, I looked like that. That's scary.
It's because you're growing up and your interests change.
Yeah.
You know that.
I know.
Because I looked like a huge dork back in the day with my weird bowl cut and all these different hairstyles.
Well, yeah, you're constantly just changing your opinion. And that was definitely when I was younger, so I didn't really have, like, an idea.
You were just
I had no idea.
You were just as cool. You had just as an idea. But now you just know a lot more, and it's a more complex idea. I think
it's a better idea.
You always undersell yourself as you're humble. You're a nice person. It's another thing that I love about you. Is you're very nice. You're very
mean.
You're the soft to my angry, my hard.
No, don't say that.
You're the soft.
No.
To my hard.
No.
Okay.
That's no. You can't say that.
But you get what I mean.
It sounds dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. Can we move on?
I'm trying to.
Can you feel the tension in the room?
You're making me uncomfortable.
This is weird. No, isn't that fascinating, though? I read opinions from biased sources and filter through documentary style. So in that, understanding documentaries and stuff in that analogy makes sense to me. Yes. I can't apply my video game knowledge analytically, I don't think that's a word.
I think you can.
But the analogy's not the same because, like, in order for me to do what you do, I don't know, maybe it's the same. I just think that it's fashion's a little bit different because you can't just go around looking at box arts and screenshots with video games because it's like an interactive medium. Fashion's fashion. You just need a picture. You can see the whole thing, the imagery.
Yeah. I think a lot with fashion too is also it's like you can do a lot with it. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm like ew, and then someone can rock it. Yeah. So it's all about personality and who you are.
It's kind of like grammar. When you're an author and you've elevated yourself to the status of understanding all of the rules, you're able to bend those rules. But you're told not to try to bend them unless you understand the rules. It's like a new hire at a workplace, right?
Yeah.
They get there, and you're like, don't fuck around, man. Like, learn your job. Yeah. And then after a while, and you know the job, you see seasoned people fucking around. Mm-hmm. It's like that.
Yeah.
So people who are authors do that, and you do that with fashion.
Yeah.
You understand everything now after investing
I wouldn't say... Sorry. Okay. You're right.
You know what, Carissa? Nobody's
Tell me how awesome I am.
Nobody's interested in how awful you are and how much you've sold short, okay?
I should just soak it in.
Just praise
me.
I never tell you you're wonderful, ever. Enjoy it right now.
You do.
I hope so. I hope you feel good all the time. And I hope, and that's something that you know is important to me, to do a little self-indulgence and shift back to my ego if we can.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast is supposed to make other people feel a little warm like that, getting to hang out with people and just enjoy normal conversation, right?
Yeah.
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 So.
Yeah, girlfriend.
Yeah, girlfriend.
We're just here to talk.
We just want to have a good time.
Yeah. We're just here to hang out.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you just like kind of a simple question, okay? Because we're getting a little tangential and goofy.
Yes, we are. Sorry.
So we've had our fun. Let's get back to the real game
Let's
here.
get serious.
Let's get cereal.
Okay.
I'm super cereal. What are your favorite things?
Oh, gosh.
Just tell me your favorite things. And
I have a lot of favorite things.
And because I'm who I am, and I'm always trying to control how you're responding and stuff, anything.
Anything?
Tell me all of your, like, not all. Tell me some of your favorite things. What comes to mind?
Mm-hmm.
Who is Carissa?
Oh, that's a hard question.
She's a fashionista. She's a documentarian connoisseur.
Yes, I love my documentaries.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait. Senior
Senior.
documentary
Yes.
connoisseur.
Get it right, okay?
Analysis
I
expert.
don't want a mess up like that again. Okay?
Sorry.
Connoisseur.
Your show now.
Sorry. Senior.
Favorite things.
Favorite things. So, I really like art. I like all sources of art. Photography. Like, that's a lot of people I follow, photographers. I love photography. I love doing art. Like paints, pencil.
What's your current favorite?
I would say pencil. Because I'm not quite there with the paint. I've lost my touch. Paint's hard.
Well, you haven't been doing much.
No.
So you probably just got to get your groove again.
Yeah. It's definitely a talent. You definitely, not a talent.
Absolutely, it's a talent.
Is it a talent?
Absolutely.
It's something, though, that you have to keep up on. Like,
yeah.
You'll get rusty if you don't keep practicing. Practice makes perfect.
Right.
So, if you're not doing it, you're not going to get better.
Yeah.
So.
Unless you're a freak of nature and those exist.
Yeah,
but
some people are just phenomenal.
Right.
So.
But most of us aren't so blessed.
Yes.
Unless
so you have to practice.
Unless it's, maybe Carissa
Whatever.
being pretty.
No.
So you love art, you love
I love
photography, and other things.
I love family and friends. I know it's cheesy, but I do. I'm obsessed with my family.
You've taught me about family.
Yeah.
Because as a quiet boy just sitting around playing video games, we had very different upbringings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very different.
Very.
You were very by yourself, alone.
And you were very having
Always.
10 siblings.
Yeah. Having 10 other people around me, always doing stuff.
Yeah.
Always making up our own stuff. It was fun. I had a great childhood.
I think that's the most impressible feature you have. I think I said that right. The thing that people get when they like talk to you for a minute is the importance of family values to you.
Oh yeah.
It's huge.
I'll bring it up all the time, my family.
Yeah. So, sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
It's your favorites.
It's a family.
And if you want to riff off on anything.
I love travel and nature. Oh my gosh. Like, my dad. Love my dad.
He took us on trips.
He has spoiled the crap out of me. And I love it. And so we've gotten to go out of the country. We've gotten to go to Hawaii. Like, we just have gone on all these trips that at the time sometimes were a little stressful. But now that I look back, I'm just
Let's talk about the trips. I think that would be a fun thing.
Do we have time? Look at the time.
Oh, we have all the time. All the time. So, yeah.
Should I just name them real quick, and then you can pick which ones you want to talk about?
Well, hang on. When we first moved in together, we moved in with your sister, and you went on a trip while we were there to Florida.
I went to Florida,
and it was for 2 weeks, if I remember right.
Was it 2 weeks?
Yeah, because I watched a lot of South Park.
Yeah. Okay,
Remember?
It might have been 2 weeks, but it was like a week. It was a week in Florida, or a little over a week, and then it was a little bit in Minnesota too.
Okay.
Because I know
right.
I wanted to
That's
see.
what extended it.
I wanted to see Minnesota.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were gone.
Hometown. Oh, Minnesota. Can I do that?
You do whatever you want to. Okay. We're just talking and hanging out. You're so funny. What up?
I'm trying to figure out how to do the M. Is that an M?
Yeah.
Minnesota.
So, that's so funny. I always point out that you say Minnesota.
Minnesota.
So, okay. What I was going to say was we were apart for 2 weeks, and I was doing what I always did. So, for me, it was normal, right? I wasn't, like, fazed by it. I'm like, she's gone on vacation. I don't do vacations.
Yeah.
Never really have. Went to Yellowstone once.
Yeah, and so you didn't want to come, right?
I don't know if it was on the table yet, because I wasn't, like, embedded as,
Yeah, maybe Dad didn't want you to come.
Right, because he's selective and he's smart about stuff. And so...
He's cautious.
He's cautious. And he's ensuring the time of the family, too, so that it's not, like, hindered or anything.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, you were gone, and so we talked a bit on the phone. I'm sure we argued, because if one of us is home and the other one is gone for over a week... Argument every time.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were still really new. We were not even a year yet. Or maybe we were a year.
Yeah. We didn't know how to be away from each other. Yeah, it was confusing.
It was.
For sure.
For teens.
But then the first vacation we went on together was the same location, right? It was Florida. Daytona Beach.
Yeah. We went to Florida again. Yeah.
Right. And so... What happened on that? We went to it was a beachfront, there was a hotel.
Yeah, and
that's where we were.
You remember we had the lazy river?
Yeah.
Right there in our hotel.
There was a storm came in.
Oh yeah, electric storm.
We had to
vacate the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was electric storm. We were up on a really cool, in a really cool room facing the ocean. I remember that.
Yeah.
Because we could stand on our balcony.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It was really.
And we had jacuzzi
really
tubs.
Yeah.
In our hotel room.
And I felt stupid because I tried to grab pizza before the kids because I'm a disrespectful guy that doesn't...
You were just brought up very different.
No, I just wasn't brought up with... No, that's rude to say to my mom.
It's not rude.
No,
it's just different.
No, she taught me all that stuff.
Oh, did she?
We just didn't implement it in the home. It was a catch and grab, do what you want.
Well, it's because there wasn't a lot of people.
Right.
And so in my house,
so we weren't stepping on any
There had
toes.
to be that kind of order. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying you were just raised different. Not that it was a bad difference.
That's so funny that you call it order that you achieved with the family.
Okay, it wasn't order. No way it was order. Everyone in line. No way there was a line.
Yeah. No, that makes sense though. It's the literal upbringing of like setting.
Yeah.
Like there's too many people, so you had to have some manners
Otherwise,
and rules.
we'd break out and fight and start slapping each other with pizza.
Yeah. You know what else I remember? When your sister shook the fucking Mountain Dew.
The Mountain Dew incident. I remember that.
It was a brand new 2-liter. It was a Friday. It was a Friday
Friday
afternoon.
night.
I don't know when it was. But no, she took a 2-liter of Voltage, the blue stuff.
Yeah, it was the blue. And it was when the blue stuff first came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She shook it all and fucked it up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't like bubbles. And it's like, then shake your cup.
Right.
We
We talked about this not too long ago because I think you mentioned it when she was here.
There's probably pop on the table, and I'm like, Carrie, don't touch that one or something.
And she was just like, yeah, I was such a brat. I didn't care if anyone else wanted it. She's like, I didn't want it.
You know what, though? Good on her.
Right? I'm just like, I wish I could do that. Like, I'm so people-pleasing that I won't do anything to upset anyone.
Yeah.
But she was just like, I want flat soda. Who cares if anyone else does?
Dude. Yeah. I think she was in her zone too, because it was all of her family. So she's just like, for real, these guys.
They're not gonna fight me on this.
They can deal. Nobody said a word, but I was sitting there, and it was a weird lunch. I'm watching people shake up perfectly good soda pop, getting my hands slapped, reaching for a slice of pizza, the most informal food on the planet. You don't eat it with a plate and a fork. You grab it from the box and a napkin.
I know what else happened on that trip. We did that ride, the ball that throws you up.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did that.
Totally didn't remember that.
You remember the guy that was strapping me in? He was like, he faked like, oh no, You know, like I
Yeah.
wasn't secure.
Right. That has to be the funnest part of the job.
It was not funny.
Because when you come down, you can say that it added to the experience. When they're just sitting there, usually what they do
it added to the
is you're like, okay, so am I good? And he's like, no, we gotta do another thing. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, and then he did the...
And then they launch you.
Oh.
You ever see the videos of people fainting?
Yeah.
They terrify me.
I don't want to ever
They're
have that happen.
terrifying.
I feel like I would break every limb if I was passed out.
I would and the other person too terrifies me because they're sitting there like
and they don't even care.
And then they look over and they're like, what are you doing? And they look at them as they're like flopping up and down. The one person's like getting sucked out the bottom that I saw. There's all this crazy stuff that happens when you faint.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, just So if you fainted next to me, I would freak out.
You would probably try to hold me.
Right. I'd be like, oh, like trying to be your seatbelt. Like,
Yeah.
come here. Like trying to reach you. It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
But luckily,
That's never happened.
we're not on like a bad blood sugar trip when we hit those rides.
No, we were very normal when we
Super
go to
fun.
rides.
Do you remember? That reminds me of the pulley at Lagoon. Oh, God. That was probably the scariest. That was way scarier to me.
That was the scariest
Way
ride
scarier.
I've ever been on.
Because I think, and I don't think that it's like the whole experience is scary.
It was the pulling.
Because the ball thing's a slingshot. That's a little bit more frightening.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that, you're
pull.
aiming down with your face and your feet are up in the air. And that's when you're deciding, okay, and they say 3, 2, 1. Pull it, pussy.
Pull the lever.
Pull the goddamn, pull the fucking script.
Yeah, and it's not like, and I'm glad you did it right away.
I did it right away. Well, because what is the other option? What do you do? Have them ask me twice? That seems embarrassing. There's all those people.
Yeah,
People watch you on the screen.
That's true.
They're like looking at your face while you do it, and I'm.
You don't want to look like an idiot.
Oh, do you remember?
Oh God.
I know that Eric's dad isn't gonna listen to this show.
What if he's your number one subscriber?
Then that would surprise me, and
Okay.
I would be blessed. I love that guy. He's
so
such a
nice.
wonderful person.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway.
But if I remember right, he pissed. He was on the ride and he peed and it slewed the urine
what Eric
onto
told us?
other people. Yeah.
Oh.
So like he was dropping and he came down and then like at the center point is when you're above the crowd and it was like a mist of urine. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Somebody's sitting there like some little kid and they're like, I don't know, this seems...
Oh, that felt nice because it's probably a hot summer day.
They're like, this seems really scary. What was that?
Oh, I guess it smelled bad.
So Florida was my most forgettable vacation though.
Yeah, we
Out of
argued
them.
a lot on that trip too.
It was young.
Yeah, we were young.
We were brand new.
I mean, I still have fond memories, like
And
walking on the beach and we found all those jellyfish. You remember when me and Carrie were saving all those fishies on the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. Am I going too loud?
Well, I set the levels for the podcast at the beginning. You don't have to be embarrassed. I don't care. It's a transparent show. Okay. But I set the levels at the beginning, and then now we're getting into it to where you're
hyped,
yeah. So I just had to ease you a little backwards.
Sorry.
Wait, no, that's fine. But no, you guys were lifesavers.
Yeah, we were
really
saving those fish.
You were doing the work.
It was sad. There was these baby fish that kept swimming or getting pushed ashore with the tide.
Yeah.
So we'd scoop them up and we would throw them back in. I guess that doesn't sound like... Maybe we were killing them, but we thought we were saving them.
Yeah, it's like some fresh air. Whatever was happening. That's funny. What was the next one? Was Hawaii wasn't next?
Well, for me it was Germany, and you didn't come.
That was after Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. And then we did another Minnesota trip. And me and you, we remember we
Yeah.
went canoeing.
Well, I mean, those count. Going across, I mean, that's halfway across the states ish for us.
Yeah, and we flew.
I remember that canoeing.
That was fun.
Just I liked being there. I didn't like doing.
So sore.
I didn't like doing it.
No.
I was very sore. I was not prepared.
It was so beautiful. You remember that?
Gorgeous.
We were just like, I felt like Pocahontas.
Who were arguing? Who was arguing? There was like a boat that we didn't want. Was
Dad and
was it Amy and Shawnee or
yeah,
somebody?
Amy and Shawnee, they were fighting
In the canoe.
They were splashing each other and getting mad and
like for real.
Yeah.
It was a real splash.
Fight.
It was a
real fight.
I kid you not. It was a real splash fight.
And Brian dropped my dad's really expensive camera in the lake or in the river and ruined it.
Yeah.
And we had to buy him a new one.
Right.
Very expensive camera. I'm pretty sure to this day, every trip my dad will mention that.
Yeah. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I mean, I would too. Just to be like, yeah, no, great seeing you. You don't have like
camera?
do you have a...
No, it's not like that.
Do you have a spare $1,500 camera on you by chance?
No, I think it's just if, we're talking about cameras or something that reminds him and he's just you remember that time?
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh yeah.
I used to have a camera. Like trails off.
I would be the same way though. I'd be horrified. I'd be like, my camera.
Right. That was fun though. Remember those when we heard that charming Bill Murray story?
Oh, that was so funny. That's my favorite story to this day.
Yeah, go ahead and tell it.
So, Bill Murray was in that town that we were in to go canoeing along the Mississippi River.
Is it the Mississippi?
Yeah, it was the Mississippi. It's the one that divides Minnesota and whatever state.
Is it Mississippi?
Pretty sure that's the Mississippi.
Okay.
I want to say.
I don't know.
Mississippi's huge.
I just remembered that as soon as we left that place, I was like, oh God, what was the name of that river? And then I never remembered.
I'm pretty sure it was the Mississippi River.
Okay.
It's the one that everyone knows, the river. Correct us if we're wrong.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so Bill Murray stops in a burger place in that town, little small town in Minnesota, and he's going, he's in the burger place and he grabs this girl. So it's the guy that owns the canoeing place that is telling us this story.
That is a weird word.
Yeah,
I can see why you squinched on that one. Canoeing.
So it's this guy's daughter that, he's telling the story about. I guess she was in there with some friends eating, some food with fries.
Uh-huh.
And Bill Murray walks past and he grabs their fries and he's like, no one's ever going to believe you.
And then he eats them and walks away.
them and walks away. Isn't that the funniest shit ever?
Like a boss. Like a boss.
No one's going to believe you.
That's so funny. And only
took her fries.
Only somebody on that level
could do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else, I'd be like, bitch, you stole my fries. Fries are valuable.
They are.
They are.
Next was Paris.
Oh, yeah, Paris.
Which, Paris was like a ridiculous amount of culture for someone like me to where I had like a polarizing experience. I think I was half totally out of my element and then half having a really good time.
Yeah,
you know
that's how I felt. So
because we went to the Louvre.
Louvre.
We finally found Gary de Lyon Street, which
God.
is Gare de Lyon or something like that.
It
was a great. That was very cultural.
The only thing that I didn't like about that trip was the time, because you remember it all started with our flight being canceled.
Yeah.
And so we had to stay in Chicago.
We lost a day.
We lost a day in Chicago, and so we ended up getting there a day late to Paris. Mm-hmm. Which, who wants to lose a day in Paris? If anything, have a cancellation on the way back, right? Yeah. Have an extra day in Paris.
Yeah. Why can't my flight be canceled to work?
Right? But anyway, so, and at the Louvre, we only got to see
3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. You could spend days at the Louvre.
Yeah.
And we got 3 hours. We were hustling. We were like...
Was that after the train?
Yeah, that was after the train.
Yeah.
Because the train started on fire.
People, there was train issues. We couldn't figure out the subsystem for a minute. I kept on incessantly offering to buy a cab.
My dad kept refusing.
We kept on looking at the map. No, and it was, I shouldn't be so. I'm a negative person.
Well, no, I agree.
I harp
it
on
was
situations.
stressful because remember I was having panic attacks because we were trying to figure out all my medical
that's
stuff
why
at
I
the
was
time.
so stressed. My macho kicked in, and I'm like, "Fuck, man! I want my wife to have a good time."
Yeah, I was having a really hard time. You remember?
Absolutely.
I was in pain all
We were
the time.
at the Eiffel Tower, and you got a cab back.
Mm-hmm. We got
a cab back.
Yeah, we only got to see it and hang out for a minute, and then we had to get a cab home.
Do you want to hear? Here's a fun scope into the mind of a man. I was with you. You were very sick. You didn't feel good at all. You were just destroyed, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, okay, well, here, I'm gonna go away for a second. And you have no idea how much I really enjoyed that food combo from the Istanbul place.
Oh yeah, I remember
that. Was like on the bottom floor.
You left me in the hotel.
Cause yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go get us. I don't know if I brought it back for you or whatever, but I went and I got food and indulging in stuff like that.
You got me cold medicine.
I didn't even remember.
That's why you left.
You were sick, and I was eating sliced meat and French fries, and I was like,
"Oh, that place was delicious."
And so I still had a good time when you were having a rough time.
Yeah. Hey, but you brought me medicine, and I still have it.
Yeah.
Because I had that sore throat too. Because I got sick on top of all my other medical issues.
That'd be funny. A collection of antidotes you've collected.
Well, it's just cool because it's from.
No, I'm saying
France.
if every trip we were on, you're like, this is the acetaminophen from London.
Yeah,
I was having really bad headaches.
A medical stash of all my medicines from around the world.
Oh, the Motrin from Cambodia.
Everyone collects spoons and plates and cups. I collect medicine.
Yeah.
What really matters.
Paris was so distinct though.
Oh, it was.
And
so
then we went to Normandy.
Oh my god, that was the highlight.
I said that right?
Yeah, Normandy. Yeah, we got to see Utah Beach, Normandy Beach.
Yeah, where the D-Day shit went down.
My grandfather was a part of the platoon that came in after D-Day happened to help clean up and.
Just it's shot and we felt it when we were there too. You could feel it in the air.
Oh my god, I had goosebumps. There was just.
My god, do you remember though? Me and you were having a moment. You know what I'm about to say. So I was having a moment.
I know what you're gonna say.
And your sister was taking.
I made fun of her for this already. So. They're selfies.
Taking these selfies with these big ass smiles was
the big holes, from all the bombs, and they're just taking selfies with it, and I'm just like.
Which in retrospect, it's
everyone does it.
Yeah, they're just showing that they're having a good time and that,
learning about the past. They're not trying to be disrespectful.
Right. That's the key is they're not trying to do anything.
They're not
mean.
Being crazy. They're smiling.
If anything, they're enjoying the freedoms that were granted by these terrible encounters. But it was just so it was so polarizing for me and you to sit there and just be like, Then we look over at these two and they're like, "Go no, but come next to it. Come down here this way."
Tour guide. I was right next to the tour guide. Magnus. Oh, he was the coolest tour guide.
Best name I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, Magnus. I was right next to him the entire time, participating because I watched all the documentaries, and so I'm just I'm really interested and excited to see.
Yeah.
Because that's Saving Private Ryan. That's
right.
That's D-Day, and so that's where it happened.
Well, what's fucked up? The first thing I think when you said Saving Private Ryan was the dude grabbing his arm and running away.
Oh my gosh, it's scary because that's what happens.
Yeah,
that's what I hate learning about it, but I love learning about it because I hope it never happens again.
Yeah,
because it's the stupidest thing. War is the stupidest thing. It just
sucks, but I mean, there's a lot of conflicting everything's going on.
I just want world peace.
It's truly a struggle. Yeah,
world peace. So many people die.
It's true.
It's just awful.
And Palace of Versailles.
Oh my god, that was gaudy.
Gaudy.
Oh my god.
Love that you said that.
Gold everywhere.
Carpet on the walls.
Yeah.
It just looked like carpet on the ceiling.
Velvet, gold.
Velvet, it was fucking ugly, but it was baller.
It was ugly, but yeah, it was so intricate and everything was extreme.
I think what's
like a vent
Yeah.
would be like super unique and
yeah, solid diamond
vents,
shaft or
and it's
some
just
shit
like
that.
holy shit, like you could stand in one room and just be like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
That's what's something that we don't really see much of here in the States much, because I think the people whose homes we're going to invade are still alive, and then we'll go check out their dope setups or something. But like Notch's house, that'll be
Cool
crazy.
story about U.S. history, real fast.
But other places have large collections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the White House used to be, when Nixon was president, used to be very plain, and they didn't have big parties. It was very like no one got to go in. You know, only certain people were allowed.
Yeah.
It wasn't very.
I heard on the 4th floor they've got a picture.
Yeah, you know, like very simple, not
Yeah.
crazy wealthy looking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then when JFK was president, his wife, she made it. You know, she brought in all this furniture, all this, you know, art from Paris or, you know, expensive stuff.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, and she made it, and she would throw big parties with, you know,
I love the
stars.
idea of a first lady just being like, this fucker's drab.
Yeah, like let's spice this up. Like
Yeah.
if we're president, you know, you
We
go
gotta
and
be
see all these.
presidential in style.
You know, they went and saw Queen Elizabeth. Not Elizabeth. Queen. Is it? Yeah, it's Queen Elizabeth. UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went and they met her, you know, and they saw how wealthy and extravagant she lived.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, the U.S. is supposed to be the strong empire. Where is it?
We don't even look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she spiced it up. I think it was smart. Like, we should look cool.
As an aesthetically driven person, I really
Yeah, I appreciate
the idea of
aesthetics,
balancing power with visual design.
Yeah, it's true. Like, no one's going to listen to some sloppy
Yeah.
barbarian.
They were just ahead of the time.
Yeah.
Because now we know with modern marketing, you know, you just need to design everything to make sure that your audience is grabbed.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we capture the American people? No, that's funny. But yeah, Palace of Versailles was just this impressive thing, just because it was from such a rich fucking person.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much money in a building like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's like a tourist location is testament to that. But I mean, like, for real, it's ugly as hell, but you look around, you're like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
This
insane.
is a serious doing. Like, this guy. And outside the gardens.
Oh, they were amazing.
Yeah.
They were.
Super cool.
It's so cool. Like, if anyone could travel, do it. Because it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yep.
love being enthralled in different cultures, even though it was kind of scary. Like, we had a kind of sometimes a little harder time.
Because I don't know if this is could be just a little bit of the country boy ignorance talking.
We're small town people.
But I read something recently, you know, like, that I thought was interesting regarding eye contact, and you know, like, for this entire process, I've been locked eyes with you. Because I just love you so much. But it's, I do that with people on purpose. I lock eyes with them to show them, you know, like, I'm invested in what you're saying, I'm listening, and, you know, I'm trying to practice the right American body language.
I try to do that, but I feel so awkward sometimes that I'm just like...
You crush. Everybody loves you.
Really?
I keep,
Oh,
you,
okay.
and you know this. If you listen about 50 minutes ago, we do this thing where we talk about it. But I think that in France, if I'm not being too crude about describing this, that's like the body language and the general, like, just kind of way you carry yourself it's different. You don't give a fuck. It's a much larger city.
Oh, it's a huge city.
I mean, we're in Utah.
Yeah.
And Utah is for the most part familial, communal, like, it's a religious dominated state.
Yeah.
That's got all these values where you're just carrying yourself a certain way, and then, like, shifting over to a different country. And then, like, Paris. I mean, Paris is like a wow city.
Oh, wow.
Right? It's a big city for the world.
It's...
For the world.
Oh, yeah.
Remember seeing the shopping districts and stuff?
Mm-hmm. It was...
Whoa.
Oh.
So I mean,
fashion in
like
Paris.
who has time to give a fuck about anybody at that
right?
point? It's like they're nice probably, but you probably have to know them.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think they just don't like tourists, and we were obviously tourists. Yeah, it's it's probably I don't know, but
I think you're right. The mashup of culture after a while you don't need
you don't have time.
Somebody comes up
city.
and they're like, in perfect English, please, can you help me find this place? And they're like, what the fuck do you...
Yeah. Well, it's probably like if people travel to New York and try to ask a New Yorker for help, I'm sure they'll be the same way because it's a busy, city.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And you hear New Yorkers are kind of mean.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was just weird for us.
Yeah, so it's just...
a little smaller...
Yeah, we're small town.
We didn't know the language. Out here.
We didn't know the language, which I wish I would have known. Yeah. The language. It's much easier. Like when we went to the UK.
We tried. I mean, we
had the apps.
We were Duolingoing up on the way too, and we just. I mean, there's just so much care. Yeah.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. So Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
That was next.
Hawaii was amazing.
Which is our favorite. Mm-hmm. Your favorite still?
I would say most relaxing. Yes.
Because it's like favorite for what I took from it and what it did for me, which was it felt like a vacation.
Yeah. So the others felt like kind of work.
Because your dad plans them. And he plans them so we can see things and we can participate in all the different cultures.
So you have to be up. You have to...
Got to get places.
Yeah.
And so Hawaii, we treated it like... the most liberal state in the States.
Oh my god. We didn't have a wake-up time. We didn't have a breakfast time. We didn't have a lunch
There wasn't shit to do.
Well, there was kind of like lunchtime and dinner time. It was just like, meet up at this time and we'll all go get food.
The one thing I will say that I thought was my personal least favorite was the lackluster volcano. I was like, cool, I'm at a volcano. And then I was like...
I'm glad it was lackluster. I don't want to like spew it and be like, wow, oh my god, this is worth it.
This is awesome. When do we start running?
Yeah, like this is perfect. This is what I wanted to see.
But what I mean is that driving to it to see it was so
it
not
just looked
a
like
thing.
A mountain.
I was like, this is just a hill.
You always expect something bigger.
But when we went to the dried up lava
from when it spilled out
into the ocean, where it was all black,
and it took
some
out
of my least favorite pictures of myself that are ever fucking on the internet. I hate them.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's when I did I only had the chin piece, and I was like a little chunky. I didn't have much. I don't know. It's probably just me being hard.
I thought I looked great,
but I age better with time. I'm aging well.
Yeah.
I get more handsome the balder I become.
Yeah.
I think.
Because then you don't have to shave as much.
And we saw a turtle.
We touched a sea turtle.
You touched a sea turtle.
I touched a sea turtle.
I just saw
a whole bunch of
way more than you because I just...
You know how to swim and you're not scared.
Yeah. Because I'm a grown-up. Just kidding.
I'm terrified
That was an undercut. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's a silly
But for that, I was trying so hard to tell you. I'm like, sweetheart, if you just come and float and just kind of kick your feet, all you gotta do is look down. You don't gotta dive. I thought that was kind of uncomfortable because I didn't know how to do it. I understood it after a couple tries of like going under, but I'm like, I'd eat water every time. I don't want this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home sick. And so I was just like little kicking my feet, just looking straight down. I saw like 50 kinds of fish. I'm like, whoa. It's incredible, and it was right at our hotel. Yeah, that's what was so cool. I'm like, I just want to stay at the hotel.
We did.
Yeah.
We only went to the mall once, so we could all get souvenirs, and I got that little mask.
Right.
And then we got your mom, I think, a coffee mug.
For sure.
Because I think we do that every time we go somewhere.
Yeah, we try to.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that's it. We went to the observatory and then the volcano.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I thought the observatory because I was on a little bit of.
My ears are pappy.
Yeah, we were driving up the hill, and as you ascend, your ears start to change and whatever, they pop and they get uncomfortable. And Gary, my ears are still popping.
He brought that up when we were hiking.
Yeah.
He was like, Gary.
Well, it's because your brother made it such a joke.
He did.
And it's okay, but Then we'll round off, right? I think is the last one because I don't want to talk about all the little ones in the States.
Yeah,
but we went to London.
Yes, that was the other one.
And that was fun.
That was way fun. That was, I think, we had the best experience there, just because with the people.
Well, and
with
we had been through it, right? Like, as a couple, that's our 4th, 5th major travel session together. Like,
so
going
we had
on a trip.
fun with it.
Yeah.
We almost went off on our own, but then we decided just to hang out with your buddy at the hotel.
Yeah. Oof. And you, you were wearing those little dresses. You had a couple dresses. That
green
sage dress. Oh, man. Still remember that. There was you next to the phone booth.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God.
And then that gate.
I'm married to her. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, and I was fat.
You were a little chunky.
No, I was okay. So I wasn't fat because I don't think I ever have been, but I was at my fattest.
Yeah.
That was my peak.
You were really into beer, though.
For real.
Because that's, I think, when we lived at your mom's basement.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun thing to share because, like, we lived in my mom's basement and we went on a vacation to London. So it's like...
Yeah, we were still living pretty good.
It might sound like we're sitting here being like, oh, look how great we are and well-cultured and all these things. No, we were
living
it's
in
like
his mom's basement.
We were fucking broke and these vacations were
it was like
the vacation.
It was like... Because we could never afford to go.
We didn't even have jobs that would let us fucking do it. No. We had to beg them. We were like, can you please... Just shift it around so that I can go to goddamn Paris.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's the holidays and all this other stuff. And it's just like, no way.
This made it so I couldn't go to Egypt.
Yeah. You missed out on Egypt, which that sounds like when you say Egypt compared to London, one of them sounds more exotic, right?
I think they both do. I want to see pyramids.
Well, I think London sounds... Egypt, it's that. It's the pyramids, the mummies, this ancient stuff. It's old as fuck.
They did not enjoy it.
No?
No.
Oh, so you missed out on an okay time to miss out?
Yeah, the food made them all sick.
Oh.
The water was
Isn't that
dirty.
Scary?
The water was dirty, so they had to be cautious of what they drank.
You ever have that happen in your house? Get dirty water? You ever had that?
Yeah, because we had our... sewer system happen like you guys did.
Really?
Yeah. In Minnesota.
That sucks. Because you don't know until it's too late.
Yeah, imagine.
And then they let everybody know.
Imagine with 13 people in one house having that happen and having no water.
Oh no, that's terrifying.
Most of us kids too.
Oh, so the parents are sitting there just
I think we ended up going into a hotel while they tried to fix it.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah. It was an event.
Oh my gosh. So what's your favorite?
Favorite trip?
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, now that we're talking backwards, and I'm not remembering all the bad stuff. Mm-hmm. Because it's not as fresh.
Right. I love retrospect.
I have two different favorites because one was favorite for just how I was relaxed and
Hawaii.
It was an actual Hawaii.
We felt
because it was a
Do you remember that
real
guy?
Vacation.
There was like that.
And then the hula dancer.
Yeah, there was a guy just playing. Was it a ukulele?
Mm-hmm. And we had the ocean with the moon, and on a private beach, and there was no one in that big lobby. We had this big, beautiful lobby that was open up to the air.
Guys singing beautiful music.
Hawaiian
he was great.
And
he had a great voice. The drink was good.
We both were drinking.
It was great.
It was beautiful. It was like those pictures or those scenes in those movies where you have this amazing hotel because the hotel was phenomenal. Yeah. And it was just all open. You remember that?
I felt like Adam Sandler was taking me on my 50th date.
Right? It was gorgeous. And it was just and it was the most relaxing trip.
It was easy for me and you to look at each other and just be like, we're on vacation.
And we just cuddled.
We're in love.
Yeah, we just
it feels great to be
laid on
here.
the beach. It was lazy. It was a lazy, fun vacation.
Because it was different than the other ones. So what's your other one?
I would have to say... That's a hard one.
Don't think too long.
I would have to say Paris.
Yeah?
Just because Normandy, seeing all this, the amazing stuff.
We had a mixing pot that
trip. We
saw
saw a lot of stuff. And even though there was a lot of negative at the time, now that I look back, it's not as negative.
Yeah.
And I just remember the good.
You probably
big
think that
points.
because as you're talking to me about things, I talk about this with you currently a lot, which is my negative filter. I have a pessimistic perspective on the majority of my adult life because of my self-conscious issues.
Yeah.
Me thinking about me in scenarios, I remember me at my worst, and I'm learning currently to get better at that so that I can appreciate the good of what other people are doing that impact me, because it feels rude to ignore all these important things that are involving other people, and then I just remember negative shit. It's sucky.
I feel like most people do that, to be honest. I think a lot of people will look back and see a lot of negative because it's easy. I mean, one big disaster can ruin a trip.
It's true.
And we had a lot of disasters on that trip.
Well, and you were in and out of the hospital figuring out the new fibromyalgia.
Yeah, so that was all happening.
Sinus
so
infections.
I was still having a lot of issues.
You had a lot of medical stuff happening for a while. You know what? I think that I to psychoanalyze for a second, I think that I shifted into my mom, which was I wanted so bad to fucking take care of you, and I didn't know how.
Oh yeah, we had a hard time with that. It was,
and that's why I like retrospect, is that I'm able to look at that stuff with a little bit more wisdom.
Yeah.
Thinking backwards feels less painful when I'm like, it's like the thing we're talking about lately. I did the best I could.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like we always try our best.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't think you're that negative. You're too hard on yourself. But it's easy to look back and think of the negative.
With Paris, I was like, oh, this giant hunk of metal is the Eiffel Tower, huh? But it's like, that's an impressive monument that took people a hard effort to build. It was cool.
It was really cool. And they just made it, what's the funniest thing, is they just made it for a fair, like a carnival.
Yeah.
It was for a carnival.
Well, that's how shit was.
And then they were just like, well, I guess it's staying up now. And now it's like this huge like tourist attraction. Like
it's so cool.
It's just so funny.
It's so cool.
History's like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm having the reason why I wanted to talk about documentaries with you is because I want to see what you're up to and what you like in that stuff. I talk to you about those pretty often.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get like the deeper thing. And then with vacations, I want to talk about that with you because I wanted to reminisce about some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted
our
that.
vacations were great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stories in
and you know what? You're great, and you're full of a lot of good stories, and that's why now that you're through your first thing, you did it.
Did I pass?
You passed.
Yes.
And surprisingly enough,
I didn't sweat
through
my shirt either.
You're the longest guest.
Wow.
Because we started with about 46 minutes, and right now we're running past an hour and 20.
Wow, really?
And so every episode I release actually gets longer. So I guess I'm getting more comfortable.
Well, I mean, if it's always too long, you can just cut it and be like, part 2.
Yeah, no, that's...
Part 1, part 2. So you can cut it where we start talking about the vacations. And you can have the...
I don't need to do that.
No?
No. So this
part
is
one,
a
part
great length. I listen to podcasts all the time. We're right on par.
All right, cool.
But you're so wonderful.
You're
Thank
wonderful.
you so much for not only being married to me, but agreeing to be on this show that you have listened to me conceptualize forever.
Thank you for having me.
You're so wonderful.
You're wonderful. And I love what you do. So I'm glad I'm a part of it.
I appreciate that. And you're going to come back.
Yes.
Yes. That's a thing. So the only self-indulging I'm going to do beyond showing off my trophy wife is check out darkrast.com for updates. This podcast is officially available on iTunes, so I think I've heard other podcasters say that there's something as far as sharing and liking and reviewing and starring and pressing and clicking and doing all this shit. If I'm worth it,
yeah,
check it out.
Click it.
Try it out.
Try
Okay, I gotta stop. So, thank you for being on. Thank you for listening, and see ya.
See ya. Just like my worst nightmare happening
No,
right now.
it's so funny.
My worst nightmare. This is my worst nightmare. This is like when presidents have to like admit to something really shameful. This is how I feel right now.
As we were doing our post viewing of the recording, we learned that Carissa's favorite document.
I can't even do it. No, it's so bad.
We learned that her favorite documentary is fake.
It's a mockumentary.
It's not real.
It's not real.
So all that shit, she was like, it was one of the biggest treasure hauls in history. No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
That
Not
never.
at all.
That never happened.
Never.
She wants to go to a museum that's not real.
We planned it.
She told her dad.
Yeah.
You were telling people how cool it was.
I've been telling so many people.